I think Doug Gotlieb worked your camp once. Did you know at that time he'd be a coach?
He worked fantasy camp.
Yeah, that's what
So,
he
yeah,
said.
he came in for fantasy camp one time, if I remember right. But yeah, Doug's always been a high basketball IQ guy back when he played, and certainly commentating on everybody else playing as a media member, and now seeing as a coach. I think it's and still somewhat of a media member. I think it's a unique situation, but he's a very knowledgeable guy.
How did the game get set up?
If I remember right, I think he just called when he got the job at Green Bay, saying that he would really like to play here if we could work it out. And so, of course, that was pretty easy. So, yeah, it timed up well for both of us to do the opening game.
With all his new players, 10 or so, do you even watch last year's film?
I haven't yet, although I will watch a little bit. So I mean, we've scouted last year, but it's not going to be from a personnel standpoint. It'll be more from what they were trying to do. But you know, who knows? You know, we're hopeful to get their two exhibition games today, so we'll know more from that. But it's hard to evaluate and scout somebody if you don't know personnel.
I was going to ask you, they have a 29-year-old power forward, oldest player in Division I. What do you think of that player and that situation?
Well, I don't know the situation.
He was in the
He's in the Navy, wasn't he? So well, first of all, you know, kudos to him for serving our country. I mean, that's probably the coolest thing about it, from my standpoint. And you know, the other thing I think about collectively, if he and G go to dinner, you got 55 years of age. You know, basically eating food together, so breaking bread together. So I didn't know he was the oldest in college basketball, but anybody that serves our country in the manner in which he did, if I understand it correctly, I think anybody would be good with allowing him to play at that age.
Coach, Darryn didn't play on Tuesday. How's he doing? What's his update?
He's fine. He practiced today, full speed. So is he 100%? Probably not. But is he practicing? Yes. So I certainly don't anticipate holding him anymore from this point forward, you know, unless something else happens.
I guess just broadly speaking, how do you feel about your team's preparedness with a real game coming up?
I don't feel very good about it. We had a bad day this morning, just from not from an attitude standpoint or a tri-level standpoint, just from a attention to details, carryover, things like that. There was a lot of slippage, a lot. I didn't think we were good at all the other night against Fort Hays, with the exception of Melvin. I thought Melvin played downhill and actually played with some personality and things like that, but we've got to be a heck of a lot better than what we have been in practice the last couple of days.
Yeah. You probably heard that Cole spent a great deal of time out shooting threes after the last game. Have you had, I'm sure you've had guys like that, you know, that will go out after games and work on a particular skill?
Yeah, but I would say Cole would work regardless on anything that he felt he was deficient in at that particular time. And you know, he hadn't shot the ball well. He'd probably shoot it better if he actually attempted shots with both shoes on. Did you guys see that? I'm like, what is that? I mean, you know, if you're playing offense, wouldn't you just go put the shoe on and then kind of delay it till you get down there? If you're playing defense, I understand, but he ran down there and shot it in transition, if I'm not mistaken.
Early clock.
And it was wide left. So I got a kick out of that. I don't think he'll do that again. But he needs to. He hadn't shot the ball well in a couple of weeks but that'll change. I mean, he's also just too ramped up and too sped up right now. It's a different moment for him than and it is for everybody, especially young guys, than just to practice. He's a little bit too geeked up. He shot one of them at Louisville that from the dead corner that hit the top right corner of the backboard, which is almost impossible to do. So he got to tighten that up a little bit.
Besides Cole, is there other guys on the team in the 2 exhibition games that we're not really seeing truly the guy that you're seeing in practice?
Well, I think you could say that about everybody. I didn't think Flory's been great. I didn't think obviously Trey I thought was just average in both games. Marco, I think he can be a lot better. I think Jaden Dawson has, we haven't seen him play a lot, but I think he's capable. I mean, there were some guys, Bryson Tiller's had some moments. Everybody's had some moments, but they're too few and far between. We got to play better collectively than what we've done. But I actually thought Fort Hays State was really good for us because after watching the tape, Mark does a great job. They're very sound defensively, and they make you make plays to beat them. And we just didn't make those plays, which was probably good for our guys to see.
Coach, could I ask, could you tell us what you mean by playing downhill? Does that have to be attacking the basket, or can a guy be playing downhill if he has energy and he's shooting well from the outside?
No, when I play downhill, and yes, of course you can ask. You don't have to, but when I think of downhill, I think of playing towards the basket. There's a lot of coaches that think their teams run downhill to offense and uphill to defense. Just because of the pace and effort and that kind of stuff. What I want when I say downhill, and I think the majority of all people, when they talk about playing downhill, they're talking about playing towards their basket as opposed to playing parallel to it or playing to the other team's basket. And you see that a lot on offense, but you're so much harder to guard offensively if you're putting pressure on people. And playing downhill means putting pressure on people.
With Paul, it's pretty clear with his size how that can be useful to you guys, but I guess what areas do you want to see him most improve in to be, I guess, the best backup big man he can?
And he got to learn where he can play without fouling. He fouls way too much. He's got to learn to play without fouling, and he's got to be a better lane protector / rim protector and a rebounder. He's not near as dominant in those areas as he can be, but he's big and he's long. He just got to play to that size better.
How close do you think he is to being ready for prime time and
I don't
minutes
know.
in big games?
Well, he's going to play minutes in big games just because we'll get in foul trouble from time to time, I believe. But do I think he's ready to play a huge role? Probably not. Do I think he's ready to have a role? Yes, and for that role to continue to expand and grow in the next several weeks. But I'm happy with him, but he's got to play more aggressive.
And I think you mentioned this the other night about Trey and his offense. I wonder what's sort of the ideal vision you have for what he gives you offensively and how he gets it and where he gets it and all of those things. Is there a player comp that maybe you see him fitting into, or just in general, what do you want his offense to look like?
I would say when we recruited Trey, we recruited the best cutter on our team. We recruited the second best rebounder on our team. We recruited a guy that can make open shots, but doesn't play to that. I think he's gotten to the point where he plays to that more than he's been a cutter and a rebounder. So he's got, I think, and we talked about it, I think those are areas he can certainly improve in and not give up who he is and what he does well at the expense to try to become too much of a three-point shooter. We have some guys also that have fallen in love with it, that takes away from the aggressiveness and playing downhill.
Bill, with Marco, what do you expect from him this season? And also kind of, have your expectations changed since pre-injury, post-injury, or are they kind of the same?
I don't think my expectations have changed because I think he's as athletic as he was prior to injury. I think he's healthy. I think that he makes the game at times harder than what it actually is because he can make an easy play and sometimes he over dribbles it or whatever and tries to split two defenders when he could have just kicked it early, whatever. But I think that'll come with time and with reps. So I'm pleased with him, but I do think that he can make the game easier. He's so fast. Play to your speed, play to ball movement, play to other guys being able to force bad closeouts and then you drive the closeouts or shoot it. So many things, but a lot of times he's trying to create that all on his own without trusting the ball movement and that kind of stuff. So he's going to have a good year though.
Yeah, and I kind of going into that a little bit. Obviously, McDonald's All-Americans are not the end-all be-all of like what a player can be. But what are your expectations for him as a Jayhawk, as his career? Like, do you see him as a guy that can play in the NBA, or is a guy that is still kind of unknown of what he can develop into?
I think it's that's kind of a
Tough question.
NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, can he play there and get there? Absolutely. He's got to tighten a lot of things up though. But athletically and strength and body and all those things, absolutely he can get there. But there's a lot of guys that can get there. He's got to improve in all facets to put him in his best position to have a career at that level, which can happen. There's no doubt about that. But he's, I know you guys covered it 2 years ago. He's very young in the game, and setting out last year didn't help that situation. So being hurt, so he's still got a lot of things he can improve on. But I could see when the light comes on, it could shine bright. I think he's still thinking because I've got his head a little screwed up because he's thinking instead of playing, and because he cares and he wants to do what we want him to do. But on the flip side, he's got to get to the point where he's comfortable and confident within what we're telling him to still be able to go out and be the athlete and play to his own skill set. And right now he's probably not quite there yet, but he'll get there. He's just young, guys. He's young.
Could you tell that Darryn, the competitor, really wanted to be out there playing? And is there any positive that he got to watch one game from the bench and watch what you want and what the team?
Well, I don't know if there's positives. I actually liked it better when he was out there. I think the thing about it is there's a lot of things. He played 14 minutes the other night against Louisville, had 24 points, but he didn't really play after that because of the cramping and tightness and that kind of stuff. So to me, that's good that we can figure out how to address it, and then him take it serious in addressing it, because that could be the same way Monday, it could be the same way next Friday, it could be the same way moving forward. But let's nip it in the bud now, which we're going to. So I think that's a good thing. Is he a competitor? Yes, he's a competitor. I do think that the fact that we saw the second half last against Louisville, which I thought was excellent, in a time where he couldn't really help us because he couldn't move in the few minutes he played in the second half. But he still tried to play the same way, not being able to move, which is a formula for not success, i.e. a couple of turnovers, that kind of stuff. There's a point in time when things are going your way and when things aren't, how do you pick your spots better? So I think that could have been a good example for him in the second half when things weren't right, to pick his spots more, i.e. you got 4 fouls with 10 minutes left. You can't play the same way as if you have 2 fouls with 10 minutes left. He's got to adjust to that, and I think he can do a better job of that. But him playing 14 minutes of healthy ball isn't enough for this team to win big games. He needs to be out there.
Is there any
30
way
plus.
to cure the problem?
Yeah.
Any special way?
Yeah, we're working on it right now. so we got some potion that we're that should take care of everything.
Any, red shirt updates?
No, nothing as of now. But I guess I need to make a decision pretty soon, but nothing as of now.
Finally, you compared physically Melvin to Tyshawn, which seems perfect. What about Tiller? A lot of people are wondering who he reminds you of.
Well, you're on the,
Sorry.
you're on Twitter way too much. I hadn't thought of, when I think of our guys, I don't think about who they remind me of. But Tyshawn and Melvin, how can you not? They look just alike. I mean, they got the same body, they got the same height, they the same personality, similar speed, although he's not as fast as Tyshawn. Tyshawn practiced with us one day, and Tyshawn's coming off a Achilles tear. He practiced with us one day, and Melvin said, "Oh my God, is he fast?" I said, "Mel, he's 38 years old. He just had an Achilles tear last year." He's like going, "No way." I said, "If you think he's fast now, what about, 15 years ago?" But Melvin is fast, and he plays with personality. But with Bryson, I don't know. Who's a power forward we had? Is he close to Markeith? Could that be a comparison? Because they handle and do a lot of things similar. Markeith's a better scorer in some ways, but I think Bryson is, got a lot of talent. There's no doubt about that.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, guys.